Hi, everyone. This is the BlackUnicorn. So I decided to go ahead and do a video about tech in West Africa, in particular Ghana, but it also applies to Nigeria. And I'm not really that sure about the Francophone countries. But I know that in my career, most of the people I met who've gotten to certain levels in tech have typically been from West Africa or of West African descent, primarily Nigerians. I've met a few Ghanaians who have been very successful in tech in the West. So someone asked me to do a video about what tech is like in Africa. And I can't talk about all Africa, because Africa is an entire continent, but I can definitely talk about Ghana, and I can talk about West Africa. Someone's at my door. Hold on one second. Oh my God. Sorry, y'all. That wasn't even my door. That was the freaking TV. I forgot I left it on. So I just turned the TV off. My bad. Yes. So those of you joining, I'm talking about tech in Africa, in West Africa, in particular tech in Ghana. So I'm talking about it because that's my field, that's my background. I'm talking about it for those of you who are interested in coming to West Africa, whether it's Nigeria, whether it's Ghana or the Gambia or Senegal or one of the other countries that are part of West Africa, or even if it's a country part of a COAS, because the COAS goes from west all the way down, I believe, to Angola. So, you know, I'm here talking specifically, though, about Ghana and Nigeria. Because of the relationships I have with people and because of my own experience. Hi, y'all who are in the chat. Thank you for giving the shout out, Lou and Karima. Oh God, Frederick, I totally ruined your name. Forgive me, sorry. I'm bad. Thanks guys for joining. If you're in the room, in the stream, why don't you say something to me via the chat and I can holler back, you know, give you a shout out. If you want to join the chat because you're in tech and you have a question, or because you want to give some insight and some feedback, let me know so I can send you the link so that you can do that. Again, we're talking tech in West Africa, specifically tech in Ghana. Okay, so I'm going to give y'all the realities and that real talk because I'm here. You know, I've been here since November. That's 6 months now. And I have no plans on leaving. I'm staying even after the borders open because this is my home now. But I'm going to tell y'all the realities about this industry so that you are prepared. Now, some of y'all gonna get offended, but you know, remember, I'm coming from the West, coming from the US, then Germany, then here. And I've been in tech for 20 years, so I'm going to tell y'all what's good. Hey, Angel, thank you for joining. If you're in the chat, please like it. This video is particularly for those who wanted to know about tech in Ghana. Okay, so tech in Ghana, tech in West Africa. If you're coming out of the US, tech here in West Africa, probably on the continent itself, but in particular in West Africa, is at least 15 years behind. Automatic. Every sector, 15 years behind, automatic. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Germany. Germany was 10 years behind the US. And I know some of y'all not gonna believe that, but unless you work in the industry and you see the lack of knowledge and you see how much they have to import in from the US, from other parts of Europe, and from the UK, and then there's a lot of highly skilled Brazilians who don't get their credit, who they import as well, and that's how they're able to maintain this image. And of course, they're masters of image. The Germans are 10 years behind in technology when it comes to the US. 10 years behind, like flat out. Security, way back. Adapting to new technologies like blockchain, emerging technologies, understanding exactly how to use and secure APIs, behind. E-commerce. Now, this is not, when I talk about this, I'm talking about Germany specifically. I'm not talking about Europe, because Europe is a different animal. If you're talking about Switzerland or Amsterdam, totally different than what the Germans are. I'm only comparing the US, Germany, West Africa. And when I say West Africa, in particular, Ghana and Nigeria. So for me, thanks for joining, Stan. Thanks for joining, Lawrence. Yona, what up, girl? I see you. I love it when you be coming into my chats, because you know you be making me smile all the time, even when you be sending me them emails. I love it. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining. Please like. I have a question here I'm going to read real quick. Let's see. Let me put it on the screen. I'll be interested to know the evolution of machine learning, data science, and blockchain technology, especially Ethereum. Did I just say that? Ethereum. I'm moving to Ghana soon. Okay. Awesome. We're going to jump into that. Glad my notifications are on, because this is an interesting discussion as a person in the US looking to join. This is very informative. Okay, so let's jump into it. Okay. E-commerce is just now, literally, probably the last 3-4 years, but especially right now, taking off and getting a little traction. And when I say a little traction, that's exactly what I mean. People buying things online and having it delivered to their homes is not a normal thing. It's something that middle-class Ghanaians, especially those who have lived abroad or studied abroad and are now back, participate in. There are Ghanaians with e-commerce companies. There's an e-commerce company, I'm gonna have to look it up, that sells African clothing that they get from different vendors, locally sourced. And now they spread their wings to other African countries like Rwanda, and I think they might actually be in Kenya and Nigeria. Great, right? But the thing is, yes, they have Jumia here. Jumia is Jumia. If you don't know it, look it up. Jumia is what I would call the Amazon of Africa. Jumia is a company created and designed by white boys out of Germany. Okay? All they did was copy Amazon, transplanted it here, adapted for the African market, and now they claim they're a whole African company, but their employees are African. The ownership is European. And that's something important to note. And I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying that that's a reality. But that's e-commerce, and it's been here for a few years now. But e-commerce itself, having regular companies selling their products online, having regular access to mobile applications that deliver food, yes, it's here now. Yes, you can use your app to get an Uber or to get a Bolt, which is one of the competitors to Uber. All new, y'all. All new. And when I say new, I'm talking 1, 2, 3, 4 years. E-commerce is a new platform here that they're getting help from, or at least a lot of support from Jack Ma from out of China, who has, you know, Alibaba and a whole bunch of other huge companies like WeChat. You know, some of y'all may not even know what these are, but WeChat is basically the WhatsApp of China, right? So it's like, they're like, we see potential here. We want to make money too, but we're going to help the entrepreneurs get off the ground so they can use our cloud services. Now get on that. Think about that. The way you can boot up real quickly to create a technology company is going by the cloud. You can get off top, easy, 6 months free to run your entire company, including creating your website, if you know about that much code, got a little common sense, and know how to Google. Just saying. Okay, Zion Ministry, you emailed me and I never responded. Oh, snap. I'm about to check that email as soon as I get off of here and make sure I respond. I apologize for that. I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm going to find it though, and I'm definitely going to respond. Okay, so let me go back up here real quick to machine learning so I don't forget about it. If you want to call in because you're in the tech field, please do. If you're not in the tech field, You know what I'm saying? You can observe. But if you're in a tech field and you are a developer, you are an engineer, you are a UX designer, you are, a product manager, you are a security officer, you are white hat hacker. Hell, if you a hacker, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get on here and you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. But Stan asked the question about the evolution of machine learning and data science. Okay, so when we talk about machine learning and data science and any other emerging technology or technology that's new and already, making things happen, like blockchain, we need to take that with a grain of salt because, people's understanding of what these words mean are all different across the board. Like you could be talking to some people about blockchain and they'll be like, oh, well, we have a distributed ledger. Okay. Right, similar, but are they exactly the same? Blockchain, distributed ledger, how do you want to call it? Is it the same? How are you using it? Same with machine learning. The buzzwords are here. People are talking about them. Blockchain is not used at all here. There's kind of fear of it here, but I can say the same about Germany. I will give Germany more leeway though, because there are some organizations pushing adoption of blockchain and trying to get more entrepreneurs to link onto it, specifically to Ethereum, because it's more established. It's the established blockchain protocol out there, right? So they're a bit more accepting to it. Here, completely not accepting to it. There have been initiatives in the past, a few years back, an organization, I can't think of their name, a nonprofit was trying to use blockchain to register people who have land and trying to register their indentures onto the blockchain. But they got a lot of pushback from the chiefs and from the Lands Commission, so that didn't work. You have more adoption with this in Nigeria because Nigeria has extremely strong and focused financial sector who is like their fintech sector is off the chain in Nigeria. Like they are on it. Like the best developers I've ever met are Nigerians. Like for real. Like they don't be playing no games. Like when they go in, they go in hard. So it's like we need some of that talent to come back and grow industries that we have here right now. Let's see. There's an American repatriate who started his APP business called, APP is an app. Is that why you have it all in capital letters like that? I don't know. Called WeApp. I never heard of WeApp. I don't know what it is. So let's talk about it. Jumia was French. One of them might be French, but one of them definitely German. French or German, boo. It's not African at all. They have no African owners. You know what? Then again, now Ghana passed the law where you have to have a certain percentage of the company be owned by a Ghanaian. But this is Ghana. So yeah, there's that. Lemmy God says we need Black-owned businesses. We need Black-owned businesses here in Africa, like high-tech technology businesses, and they don't. You don't have to be start off super big in the beginning. No one starts off big. Like Netflix started, y'all. Like for real, Netflix started sending you your CDs, your DVDs in the mail. I've been with Netflix since the moment they came out. They used to send me my DVDs in the mail because I didn't want to go to Blockbuster. I was like, this is stupid. Why do I have to go drive to Blockbuster, drive back, then drive again or get fined from them when I can just get my DVDs from Netflix who sent it to me in the mail? And then in the US, Redbox opened. They put a Redbox, which is a vending machine that sold you DVDs at every McDonald's in certain areas. And I lived in one of those areas, and every single McDonald's had a Redbox. And if you all don't know, there's a McDonald's literally on every corner in the USA. Okay, they want to get you fat and obese quick and in a hurry. Just saying. And then Netflix transitioned over to streaming, right? So when you do it small, you do it small and steady. That's the only reason why I'm talking about it. Small and steady wins the race. If you are in technology, you have a skill set, you have the ability to create an application. You have the ability to create an application, either a web-based application or a mobile app application, whether it's an Android or iPhone, or maybe there's some other services, but iPhone and Android are the main ones for mobile usage worldwide, right? You can easily do something like that here. You know what I mean? You don't have to know any of the legacy languages like I do, because I'm old. I'm old and I was taught on the old school languages. So I'm a C, Java type of person, like old, right? But if you're working with Go, you're working with Python, you're working with any of the new languages that are out there now, you can come here and not only create your business by spinning it up on the cloud, you can also teach these skills to the folks that are here. So let me share something with you guys that I recently found out through this whole lockdown experience, and the fact that schools are shut down here in Ghana. And that means from the, like nursery schools all the way up to universities, all shut down. All of a sudden, people have to do online learning. Now, it wasn't that there wasn't online learning platforms here in Ghana or in West Africa like Nigeria. Yeah, there were platforms there, absolutely. But they didn't have as much traction and they didn't have as much interest as they're having now. The problem is, there's still parts of West Africa that do not have electricity, like consistent, steady electricity in their area. If you don't have electricity, even if you have a phone, not even a computer, even if you have a phone, how are you supposed to do your work on there with no access to electricity to charge the phone? This could be the same USA. Anywhere USA, go to Chicago, go to Austin. People don't got no real internet there. Internet's super slow because they won't bring the fast internet out there because too many Black folks there. Don't give a damn. So, I'm just saying, it's just like you still have this conundrum happening, right? So, but what I found out is that the schools here in Ghana didn't allow students to bring in cell phones or laptops or iPads of any kind into the classroom ever, public or private. What? This is 2020. My kids, 2012, 2020, 2010, 2006. The kids were using computers. Homework done on the computer. You know what I'm saying? And then assignments where they had to do on the computer. And I'm just shocked that they couldn't bring devices in. Teachers haven't even incorporated social media whatsoever into their curriculum. So my expertise is in tech, but also in education. And digital literacy is, I did a whole research on this area. And, I get cited by other researchers on what I did on how to incorporate social media into your teachers to teach programming and be successful at it, in particular for minorities and women. And it works, but you don't even let them bring their phones so they can even interact and see how these applications work. How do you build up a society if you don't allow the young people in one of the countries and on the continent with the youngest population in the entire world to be able to use the technology to make the world function? It's insanity. It is pure insanity to me, and it frustrates me completely, and you guys see it coming out right now. Okay, what's up, Stan? What's up, Yoro? What's up, Anthony? I see y'all join me. Limigod, Dixon, thank you guys so much for joining. Michael, Zion, I appreciate all you guys for joining. Kinga, Chaos, Leroy, thank you guys. Jordan, please like if you're in the chat. Make sure to ask a question or let me know if you want to join if you're in the industry so that we can talk about it, because we really need to have a dialogue about it, because people are either bullshitting or, they're not really sharing, and I think that it's important that if you have tech skills, utilize them. Even if them white folks that made you feel like you don't know what you're talking about or you don't know what you're doing, you got a degree or you got focus. If you got these things and you got the ability to think with a brain, boom, you got no excuses not to know how to use this tech. Period. Okay, let me go to the question. I love to see Black people moving back to Africa so that we can fight as politicians together to change Africa. That's what's up. Okay. Hey, girl from Florida. Yes, queen. I see you. Okay. Let's see. Are there any questions? You should do a video on Aseshi. I heard good things about it. Aseshi is a good school. You know, it's a great school for Ghana. I think it might even be a great school for West Africa. I don't know how great it is, though, if you compare it against the Western schools. You know, because I'm coming out of a place where these degrees coming out of Ghana and Nigeria, Togo, or Gambia, or Senegal, or Kenya, or Uganda, or Rwanda, or Egypt, you're told your credentials are not valid and you need to either restart your studies or try to get accepted into another master's program, because a lot of these people already hold masters, and then we'll consider letting you teach for us. And then we'll consider letting you, you know, apply for tenure track teaching positions. I was a dean, y'all. This is what I did all day, every day. Tenure people, hire people, fire people, make sure our programs were good to go. Like, I was focused, like I did this at the undergraduate level in the US in several states. So when I say, I hope Aseshi gets to the point where they can be considered a competitor for Western institutions, just like the Chinese institutions did, because 20 years ago, Chinese institutions were garbage. They were still struggling. They were hiring Europeans, Americans, left and right to come fill their ranks, their faculty ranks, and start doing research. Research is everything. If you don't have research to back yourself up, you do not matter in academia. Therefore, your programs do not rank. Therefore, your graduates have no validity if they ever leave Africa. And this needs to change. So Rwanda government gives kids laptops, and that's what they should be doing. That's what I'm talking about. In this day and age, every child should have the ability to understand, 1, what is an application? 2, how to create an application, which leads us to 3, how to code, even if it's the bare minimum visual coding with Scratch. Scratch is a particular programming that's like Lego blocks that came out of MIT. That's simple. Because once you know that, you understand the foundations, you understand what a function is, what loops are, what an array is. I mean, come on. You can easily move over to an easier language like Python. You know, sorry, you guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just, you know, I'm feeling it today. Like, I'm feeling it when it comes to my field because I'm a little bit frustrated. I'm from Ghana myself, and yes, what you're saying is right. Any knowledge in tech, you will blow in Ghana. What you mean you will blow in Ghana? Harry, boo, I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need you to correct that statement so I know what the hell you talking about. But I think it's positive. I think it's positive. Okay, let's see. Hey DK, I'm glad you're joining us, girl. They do that to people from the Caribbean also. Oh, I know. I know, because I've had way too many people coming from Jamaica, St. Lucia, Antigua, Dominica, all kind of places. And you know what gets me the most, though, is when they do this to Cuban doctors. Some of the best doctors in the world. The best doctors in the world. And you try to tell them their knowledge and skill set is not valid. I've never agreed with it, and I'm not going to agree with it. It's one of the many reasons why I left academia in the US, because it was, you know, they stack it against you. You come from an African country, you come from a predominantly black country, which is like in the Caribbean, and they coming for you. They making sure they stack it against you from the moment you get to the US, so that you have to go through their system, you have to lose all that time, and then your excitement, your joy, your motivation is gone. Okay. I live in Germany and I watch your videos since when you was in Berlin. I wish to meet you one day. Oh, that's what's up. What part of Germany are you in? Let's see. Wait, I was in Berlin. Okay, sorry, I missed that part. Wait, I watch your videos since when you was in, since I was in Berlin. Okay, so what part of Germany are you in? That's the question. They need to attend schools that are internationally known. I worked in recruitment. You need to have transcripts evaluated by, what is WES? Tell me which association that is. Or Joseph Silney. You came from what state? And who was your higher learning commission? Higher learning commission, that's the Midwest. Sorry. Who are the accreditors in the region that you were in? Because that makes a difference. So I worked in under the Higher Learning Commission, which is for the Midwest predominantly, and then I'm taking a blank, but the one that accredits the schools down south, it's like the Southern Commission for Higher Education or something like that, for down there in Florida. So I'm just sharing with you what goes for my own experience in the U.S. Okay, Chaos. Thank you for clearing that up for me. He means you'll do well in Ghana. Appreciate that. You will blow means you will be successful. Okay, everybody's checking me. You know what, y'all? I don't speak slang. I don't even speak American slang. I don't be knowing. So thank y'all for helping me. Okay. If you're inside of this live chat, guys, could you please like the live chat? Also, if you want to join the conversation, I would love that, because sometimes it's really hard to do this, one-way type of thing, because then I'm gonna be super biased and then just talk about how I feel about things. And I really would like it to be a dialogue, because it's super important for us to talk about our experiences that we have and our skill sets and how we can apply this to the African context. Because I know quite a few of you are out there in the US or the UK or whatever thinking, I want to come to Africa, but I don't know if I can. I want to come to Africa, but I don't know if I'll be able to do any kind of business. Or you lack confidence because you've always worked for someone else. And Lord knows that was me. So, and then when you're so used to having a steady paycheck, when you don't, you have to make your own paycheck. That transition is hard, yo. That transition is super hard. So if somebody tell you that transition is easy, they lie. They lie. You're telling the devil is a lie, and so is you. Because when they try to make it seem easy, it's just not. So you are in your element today. Break it down well, warrior sister. Thanks, new chief. I appreciate that. My husband came to the US from Nigeria. They accepted his degree, but not his license, and he needed to redo his medical lab license. That's totally sucks, because he already had the experience. But I appreciate you sharing that, because I tell people a lot of different stories. Most people don't believe me, and so I just say, okay, when you meet people that have been through this themselves and are actually willing to share that experience, then you'll understand. Because a lot of people get embarrassed. Like, they feel inferior sometimes because they feel like what they did wasn't up to par, when quite honestly, not only was it up to par, but most times it's better. But you would never know that, because Western society said, if you don't come from the US, Europe, UK, or Australia, you're not equivalent. And it's interesting. Of course, they're opening this up now, and they're like, oh, we'll take things from Russia, we'll take things from China, we'll take things from this place or that place, where they would frown on it. They would have frowned on it before the economies got to the point they are now. I'm seriously considering starting what? World Education Services. That's for the private school sector, right? Like for private universities. Okay, because I only work for public institutions. So it would be completely different. And large public institutions at that. Okay. Yes, this conversation is very necessary. We lack confidence in coming to Africa. I mean, quite frankly, Ribbon, thank you for joining, by the way. I think that's true for anyone who's wanting to go to a new country to live. Unless you are a little bit crazy, which I totally am, or super bold, or just at that effort stage, you are going to have some hesitation, because it's so brand new. But not only that, it's like, okay, even if I pay my rent year in advance, I was able to buy my property, my land to build my house on, you still will need money to build that house, right? You're still gonna need money to finish that building. You're still gonna need money to survive, like to eat, to get your internet, to keep your lights on, to buy the propane for your propane tank, because they don't have regular, they don't really do the whole, pipe gas thing. So it's kind of like, you have to take all these things into consideration, how your transportation, all the stuff has to be taken in consideration. So there's nothing wrong with being hesitant, insecure, feeling unsure. It's absolutely normal. And sometimes I get frustrated when I watch other people on YouTube or other, on platforms who act like this stuff is so easy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh yeah, I just woke up one day and I was going to Africa. I'm here. It's so, I'm like, girl, bye. Or the other ones who be like, oh, I hate it. Everything's awful. The infrastructure, this, that. I'm like, get your life. Have you been to America lately? Like, I don't even got time for that shit. So, stuff. So, yeah, I'm getting too comfortable. I'm using the S word too much. Let me calm down. I'm calming myself down right now. Look at these questions. Okay. Do you have to register a company or get a certification to start a business in Ghana? Also, if you have to pay to register, does it depend on the type of business? Just like anywhere else in the world, yes, it depends on your type of business. And yes, of course you have to pay and register your business, because you have to pay and register your business everywhere you go on the globe. So that's going to be the same here for sure. I will say this about Ghana, and I'll say this about Africa, period. Just start and try. Just see what happens. You know what I mean? Just start and try, see what happens, or at least feel it out. See people in your field, or try to connect with people in your field. Try to talk to people, even if they're not in your field. Try to talk to people who own businesses, who are entrepreneurs. Connect with people on LinkedIn, see if they'll talk to you. Different ways like that. I'm really cautious now because I tried to help a broad out and she tried to steal my entire BlackUnicorn everything. Literally took the words off my website and plugged it into her own. So I've never seen nothing more trifling than that. So I'm hella cautious these days. At the same time, though, I feel that we need to be sharing, right? So we need to be willing to share some things, and I am. But, YouTube is another animal, y'all. It's a different type of beast. Okay, let's see. When you were in Germany, how did you build your innovative skills when other nationalities probably weren't as supportive? Oh, sweetie, I had all my skills before I went to Germany. I had all of them. I had my expertise in programming, software development, which is basically the same thing. I had my expertise in cyber, blockchain. I already knew all this stuff. I was already working with organizations. The one thing I did learn in Germany that I didn't have was product management skills. I was a product manager. I did that for a hot minute. But I like to be at a higher level. So for me, product manager wasn't really my thing, because basically a product manager has nothing but a bunch of volunteers around them, and they answer to their individual managers. No, I'm your boss. So I knew that role was not for me. But see, when you go to a country like Germany and you already have a high level of tech skills, and you start applying for places and talking, some people will love that. Other people will get intimidated by that, especially if you're a woman. If you're a man, you have a little bit more leeway, but you also have to, cater to them, laugh at their stupid jokes, dismiss or act like you didn't hear their racist comments, things like that. I'm not really good at that, because I'll call you out on your racism in a minute and be like, that was racist. I don't like it. And then they get real, white people turn red and get super offended. So, it's that. Thank you so much for my super chat. I'm gonna do the super chat. I'm gonna take a drink. Oh, that's nice. Thank you for the super chat, guys. I like super chats. If y'all didn't know, I do. I like super chats. I'm dropping some knowledge. At least I'm trying to, anyway. Okay, so let's go with it. That's garbage. My husband had 4 degrees from the UK and is still struggling trying to get his ideal job in Texas. Yeah, it is garbage, girl. If he has degrees from the UK, though, the UK, they normally don't give people from the UK any issues when they come to the US. But Texas, damn, girl, Texas, you black, right? Like Texas, like I did raise my kids in Houston. Unless you're in Houston or Dallas, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you, Nana, for acknowledging me. Stan Profit, I did say thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Let me read the questions. I don't like big cities like Accra. In fact, I plan to do an agribusiness. What area would you recommend? I mean, quite frankly, it just depends on what you want to grow, right? So, I mean, you can go to the Western region, you can go to Eastern region, you can go up north. I mean, but the Western, Central, Eastern regions are extremely fertile, but Ghana itself is fertile. So you can go to any of those areas, and there are plenty of villages around there. You don't have to be in any of the larger cities, with Accra being the largest. So you can go Cape Coast, not actually Cape Coast, but the villages outside of Cape Coast. There's Winneba. You can go to the Volta region, which is the eastern region. I can't even remember the name of the villages in that area, but they're very fertile. It just depends on what you want to grow and where you want to be. And for the agribusiness, that's huge opportunity here. And there's a lot of different technology businesses that are around agriculture. And, you know, of course, they call it agri-tech. And there's a lot going on with that here. A lot of very innovative, focused, and determined young Ghanaians who are doing different things with agri-tech, trying to connect farmers with the ability to either be able to maximize how they grow their crops, how to make sure the crops are protected or can grow on time, understanding weather patterns. So they're using a lot of data analytics. And there's just a lot of different things happening around agri-tech here in Ghana. And that's West Africa, period, in any of the countries. Okay, let's see. Okay, hi, Anthony, Liza. Thank you for joining. I'm sure Leroy, other people had joined as well. Frank. Hi, Frank. Thanks for joining from Hamburg. I know you, Frank. What's up? Okay. To me, I think anybody who can invest in online university in the fintech industry or agribusiness in South Africa, and I'm coming back soon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think fintech here in Ghana, I don't think I know. Fintech here in Ghana is developing. There are some very promising fintech companies like ZPay. They just got basically awarded by the Central Bank of Ghana to say, hey, we're going to allow you guys to operate as a bank. That is fantastic, amazing. The first fintech that's been allowed to do that here in Ghana, right? And I think, well, no, that can't be in West Africa because there's a couple companies in Nigeria that got the same status as well. So, I mean, it's just an amazing type of progression that's happening. Progress is happening. There's some really focused, highly innovative companies here, but the problem is there are not many. The other problem is they're not getting the funding and the support they need to get so that they can be bigger than what they are. But they are doing what they need to do, and they are being very successful here in the West African region, because ZPay is not only in Ghana, they're in all of West Africa. I believe they are in parts of East Africa and actually do some things in Europe. So, I mean, hey, you can't beat that with a stick. All right, so let me see. Anybody want to join, want to talk tech with me? Guys, if you want to give me a super chat, greatly appreciate that. Let's see, the tribalist said good areas, I guess, would be Kumasi and Sunyani. I haven't been to Sunyani, so I'm sure that's probably a good area. The people I've met from there have been fantastic. Okay, so hi, Tracy. Thank you guys for joining. Let's see, I love to move back to start an agricultural business. You should move back to start an agricultural business. I never even thought about agriculture whatsoever until I moved to Ghana. Simply because the food industry here is just a huge business. And that's simply because like many parts of Africa, Ghana is extremely fertile. You know, when they used to say to me, you know, people think money grow on trees like mangoes, and I'm thinking, mangoes grow on trees? Like, I didn't know, you know, I didn't know they grew on trees, let alone how they hang so low on trees and you can just grab them off. But I'm using it as an example because it's just such a fertile country that there's a lot of opportunities here. I will say that if you're going into tech here, that you should definitely not only get your business registered in Ghana, but also have your business registered in your home country. So if that's the US, you should have your business registered there. And I say that for a few reasons, but that would be a wise move. Oh, I'm so glad you asked me this question, Lou, about ministers. So I have learned the hard way. Politicians in Africa are extremely complex. I'm on YouTube, so you know, people gonna watch this later. So they're extremely complex, and it seems to me that if it's not in their best interest, it does not matter. Growing the nation, I think that's just, you know, something the pres and the VP are interested in. But that's just my observation. I don't know. I just know that for me, trying this way is not successful whatsoever. So I'm going about it in a different manner that is producing results. You excited about moving? All right, now I hear you. That is such a funny little avatar. Okay. Yes, guys, please like the video, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. You know what I mean? You know, someone asked me for a video on tech, so I thought I'd talk about it. I do want to go back to what I was talking about, being able to start a business and be able to do things. And when I say do things, these things that you do depends on where your expertise, passion lies. Because if you try to do a business and you don't really like what you do, you're not going to follow through with it. You may start it, but give it a couple months, give it a year, and you're going to give up on it. But if you do a business that you actually like to do with skill sets that you actually have, you'll be more successful at it. So I can't tell you, oh, go ahead and start a skincare line, or oh, go ahead and start a natural hair care line, or go ahead and create an application development company. I can't tell you what to do because I don't know your expertise level. What I do know is that no matter what it is that you want to do or that you're passionate about, I do know Google Cloud and AWS, Amazon Web Services, allows you to be able to spin up a business damn near for free because they give you credits to start. I think they both give you like 300 credits. Credits meaning basically that's like cash to use their services to start your business. So, why sit around and say, oh, I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that. What I will say though is about if you want to do your business specifically in Ghana and you want to work with Ghanaians or sell your product to Ghanaians and or other West Africans in the West African region like Nigeria or Togo, Benin, Gambia, Senegal, any of these countries, right? You need to be on the ground. People keep saying you can do this, you can do that while you are somewhere else. Yo, you can't. Like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Like, I smile at that and I just be like, okay. Because I don't know how you do it, because the relationships that are required here are not the same as things that happen in, the West, like email. Yeah, everybody got email, but are they checking it? You know what I'm saying? Like you need to be here. Like this is, even with an online company, even with digital products, you still need to be on the ground. that's just how things work here. I told you guys I have an audio guide about doing business in Ghana on the website, BlackUnicorn.org. But I also have decided that because I'm getting questions about different types of things, that I'm going to start interviewing officials who work for the office where you register your business, also the immigration office and the tax office. And I'm going to offer that as master classes in the next month or so, because I'm working on the whole editing and all that stuff. So that you have this information, because for those of you who want to know what kind of business you can register, what are the qualifications, how much it costs, how can I be in the country legally if I don't have citizenship, how can I get residency, how much are my taxes going to be? All these things are going to be covered in that, because it's just, first of all, the information is just too valuable for me to be giving it out for free. Because if that was the case, you would easily be able to find it, and you can't because I tried. Not only that, what you do find is not correct. I can tell you that right now, because these hoops I jumped through, let me tell you, ain't no joke. So my encouragement to all of you is that if you have technical skills, or you have a partner that has technical skills and you have the business skills, but you're going to need both, start creating something you can bring here and be able to market and sell. And because the technology level is so far behind what you worked with, what you saw, what you had your customers deal with 5 years ago, hasn't even hit here yet. And it may hit here and it may not hit here, right? Because the best thing I've seen about Africans, especially West Africans, they will leapfrog the ish out of something. They'll be like, okay, we don't have legacy systems, so we're going to just jump right on over that. And we're going to go over here, use this technology in a completely different way, and then pimp it out and make it our own so that it's better. I love that about Africa. It is fantastic. You never hear about it. You never talk about it. Maybe sometimes you're lucky enough to see an article or something, but because I have interacted and met people at conferences or worked directly with people and know about what's happening in Africa before I even got here, when I got here and saw the reality, I'm like, yeah, okay, this is what's up. But I will say security is definitely security, data analytics. Machine learning is basically non-existent. So is blockchain, even though they say they have it. They have some kind of rudimentary element of it, but it is definitely not what you might be thinking. So, it's just, there's a lot of opportunities here. And then the tech field, it's just a matter of you getting up and doing it. Now, I will tell you, if you're a website developer, a graphic designer, there's a lot of them already, because what I've noticed about when they teach tech here, tech is web design, graphic design, and mobile app development specifically for Android. And, quite frankly, I don't even think they're using Java. Like, I think, because, Android is built on Java, right? The iOS. And so, so I think they're using the newer, they have these newer frameworks now where you kind of like plug in things and you don't really code anything. So I think a lot of that is happening. But if you are able to teach people or have a company where you're doing full stack development, I mean true full stack development, I've met and saw a couple people out here say they do full stack development, and I'm just like, what is that? You're doing front end development. That's what you're doing, but they call it full stack, right? So, in cloud services, so cloud, to me, I think people here, there's definitely use of cloud, right? But there's some hesitancy about cloud and some confusion about how cloud works. A lot of confusion seems to be about, like, what is hybrid cloud, and how does that work? And how is my data secure? Which is the same thing I saw in Germany, exactly the same questions. So I'm just like, okay, so y'all at the same level the Germans are when it comes to cloud, because the Germans are super resistant to the cloud. And that's just because of the data protection, data privacy aspects of it. So it's just like, you know, these are things that you should be thinking about if you're interested in coming to Ghana. Let me see if there's any questions. Any suggestions on how to find large African-based companies in the US that African-American citizens can apply to work for? You know, I'm not a fan of people coming out here getting jobs. So no, I don't know. Because, you know, when you think about it, the major corporations are out here. You know what I mean? The major corporations have a presence here. EY has a presence here. IBM has a presence here. Deloitte has a presence here. You know, all these big consultancy companies have a presence here. Even tech companies have a presence here. But are they hiring? I don't know. You know, can you apply? I mean, I'm sure you can, but you would have to look for it. Because I don't believe in coming here to work. I believe coming here to create jobs. And create opportunity. That's just not really my area, because it's just, I don't feel like it's worth working for anybody when you come here, because unless you are in Africa, what I'm about to say to you, you won't fully appreciate nor understand. But when you get here, when they tell you there is opportunity here, there is so much opportunity here because so much has not been done. Or the stuff that's being done is so haphazard that you know you can do it better. The biggest challenge would be connecting with the right people to get a foot in the door, you know? So it's just like, I watched a video recently and a guy said, Ghana is like the wild, wild west during the gold rush, the American gold rush back in the 1800s. I agree with that statement. And I won't even say Ghana, I'm gonna say Africa. Because right now, Africa has the youngest population. For those of you who don't get what that means this group of individuals coming up to age, including the young ones, the little ones, the ones in elementary school, are all moldable. Every last one of them. You can have an entire generation built up on tech. Same way the Chinese did it, same way the Indians did it, same way the Israelis did it. You can have an entire generation built up. And what they create next, only God knows. You know what I mean? So it's just, opportunity is so, it's around you everywhere. And you don't know it until you are here. And I don't mean fly by night here. Like you come, oh, I'm gonna stay a month. I'm gonna stay 3 months. Girl, get your life. If you ain't ready to put in the work, if you ain't ready to stay amongst the people, be with the people, network, even when you don't want to network, because I be getting into, you know, I'm not a very social person anymore. Like, yes, I'm a Leo, but I'm not super social, even though I can be, because I just like my space. Okay, but I do know how to network, and these kind of, they matter. These kind of things matter, right? So, you know, I'm just sharing. They don't teach Java. No, I'm not saying that they don't teach Java. Of course they teach Java. Java's old as hell. Why wouldn't they teach Java? You know what I mean? Don't mean they're teaching it right. Let me ask you something. Have you ever took a programming class with a professor that never worked in the field? Ask yourself. When that happened and you got into the workforce, did you even know what the hell you was doing? Because quite frankly, coming from a former professor, full-on professor, there's so much you don't know if you're not in the field. So either as a professor, you have to excuse yourself from academia for a while and get in the field, or you're working remotely part-time to make sure you understand your craft of your trade. If not, all you're teaching to your students is theory. And I can tell you right now, all they teach to these kids here, theory, theory, theory. Helps you not at all. Not even close, you know? So just saying. Good work there, my Black sister. I appreciate what you are doing. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being in here. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you want to give me a super chat, I would greatly appreciate that. I mean, I am sharing, just saying. Is there a need for small incubator centers to teach young people about digital literacy and technology? I suggest you elaborate or come on to the call and let's chat about it, because I don't understand. This is too broad of a statement. It's too broad, I can't answer it. You have to either break it down or I send you the link and you come on this call. We talk about it for a while, so I don't know if I'm back. Can anybody hear me? Somebody please say something in the chat if you can hear me. My internet connection seems to be having some troubles. Guys, if you can hear me, let me know. If not, I mean, we're damn near an hour into it, so I can just end it, but anybody? Anybody there? I can just hear like my echo. Thanks guys. Thank you for letting me know that you're here. Okay, all right, cool. All right, okay. I think my system was on a delay. I'm in Ghana. My network is, sometimes good, sometimes not. So the British are very interested in Ghanaian children's education, very little tech. That's exactly what they do here, because the whole school system is based on the British system, which has me completely confused because all these crazy exams they have to do, and the fact that the kids have to know exactly what it is they want to do for the rest of their life, like by the time they're in, like, I don't know, 6th grade or something, it makes absolutely no sense to me. So, but I'm not British and I didn't go through that system, so I don't know. But yeah, here, this is a very, very, the whole education system in Ghana needs to be revamped. It's antiquated. It's 100% antiquated. But I think that the folks in charge are either ignorant to the fact, or they like it exactly as it is and don't want to go through the hassle of trying to revamp an entire system so that it is up with 2020, our current age, and has built into the curriculum actual content that will build a workforce. You know what I mean? A true workforce. Whether your parents are rich or whether your parents are dirt poor and have nothing and you're able to go to the free senior high, you should be coming out with a skill, with a trade, with knowledge. And they're not, but, I'm not making it seem like the American system is so great, because it's not. It just depends on the school district you're at, the city that you're at, and the county you live in. You know what I mean? But you have the ability to send your kids to great schools if you're willing to move and do what it takes to get them into those schools like I did. So it's just here you don't have that kind of flexibility. So it's kind of like there's so many things that need to be upgraded with the system here, but I'm not sure if the powers that be are willing to do that, especially from someone or from people coming from the outside and aren't old as dirt. Yeah, I said it. Okay. The media sector in Ghana, I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how the media sector in Ghana is. I know I watch TV, I listen to, the radio sometimes, and I know that they definitely can use all the help they can get, and equipment for sure, and learning new technologies. I don't see, to me, everything here is still in its infancy. So it's still so much to happen and develop here. So there's definitely a place for that if you have the skill set to make things better, and to provide a service that will allow for whatever area of media to be more productive and to reach more people, Okay. So people are letting me know they heard me. Thank you, Jacqueline, for my super chat. Yay! I'm dropping knowledge, girl. Dropping knowledge. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I like your avatar. It just makes me smile back at you. Thank you, Lauren, so much for my super sticker. I didn't even know what a super sticker was. Oh, whoop, whoop. Just because it says super sticker, I don't even know what that is. Okay, let's see what else is out here. The British left us with broken economy, corrupted system. That's why Ghana is run by incompetent politicians. Well, I'm no politician, but you know, politicians the world over are just something, ain't they? My question, I wasn't clear. Okay, I was thinking about education centers to teach young people how to work with computers. Thanks to both of you for responding. Okay, yes. So I feel like this is a complicated question to answer. And the reason why I say that is because there are a lot of these small little education centers, let's put it that way. They'll have the name college or university attached to it. They may even have technology institute or technical institute attached to it. They're like in some broke down storefront, barely got enough computers to teach people, using old software, using old operating systems, you know, and then saying that they're teaching people all these skills and charging them a bunch of, you know, money to go there. Yeah, that's here. Are they legitimate? Are they actually teaching people the skills that they need? Not so much. Not so much. You know, I've had, so, you know, I network. Before the corona happened, I went to different events and interacted with different people. And I've come across several students, not even students, you know, mainly all men. Women don't ask me for some reason. But when I talk about wanting to teach women cyber and wanting to find some support in that, I'll have either male students or, and I only say male because I'm surprised that the women don't ask me, but I'll either have students or people that have been in the field for a minute ask me, will I teach them? And I'm like, I don't teach individuals anymore, you know, but at the same time, it made me think opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a whole different business outside of BlackUnicorn that focus strictly on security and APIs. And so, and now I expanded it to risk. And so, you know, I'm starting to think like, how do I offer what I know in a way for individuals to be able to access it? Because typically when I do things, it's for like enterprise level. So, you know, it's just, it's there, but quantity doesn't matter. Quality is what matters, right? Yeah, so that's how I answer that. Thank you so much, Chaos. You gave me 10 pounds. 10 pounds, you get a happy dance. You get a happy dance. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Know of robotics companies in Ghana? I mean, no, I don't, but I know of people working with robotics. But, you know, again, opportunity. But they definitely have at least one robotics company because I read about something happening more recently, but I just can't remember. The whole thing with coronavirus and people trying to work remotely and schools trying to do e-learning and all these different things, and me having to move the stuff that I do from being in person to online, it's not that hard. It's just a matter of time that it takes to get all that content online. So I really haven't been focusing on the robotics, but I know it's here. But it's also opportunity. You know, if that's your area. Young old lady, girl, you know I love your name. You know I love your name. This is so fantastic. I appreciate your straightforward info, not tech savvy, but still enjoy. See you soon. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. May our ancestors help you all. I think that means African Americans. Thank you. Okay, guys, it's been an hour. I think I answered everyone's questions. I did my little, 2 cents on doing tech in West Africa, doing tech in Ghana. I just hope you guys take a few things from that. One, you need to be on the ground to understand what it is you truly want to do here. Two, cloud computing. People, utilize these free services, because within those free services, there are marketplaces. Those marketplaces allow you to spin up a website. It allows you to use artificial intelligence if you know how to use it. It allows you to use data analytics and machine learning if you know how to use them. But more importantly, it allows you to get started selling whatever services it is you want to sell. So be wise about starting your business. Be wise about the technology that's out there. And then I also hope you guys take from that, do it. Don't wait. Do it. See if it works. See if there's interest. And get on LinkedIn. If you don't have a profile on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn. There are more Africans on LinkedIn than you may know. And not only Africans, but those of African descent, those of European persuasion, and those of every ethnic group and race that live here in Ghana, or that live in other West African countries, in particular Nigeria. It's a ton of folks in Nigeria that are on LinkedIn. And this is a way for you to reach out and just ask questions. If they answer, they answer. If they don't, they don't. 2 tears in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna hurt nothing. You just ask. And then that way you can start learning. Not only that, last thing, most important thing, research. Google is your friend. And you may not find everything you need or want to know about doing business in Ghana on Google, but what you can find out is what industries are getting in the news, what industries are getting recognition and why. What are some of the initiatives the government has going and why? Who are some of those organizations that are working with them and why? This can help you to understand what the needs are in the country that you're interested in going to. For me, I'm talking about Ghana. Hopefully that helps someone. All right, guys. Thank you, Mother Lady. Thank you, my fellow Leo. Yes. I appreciate that. Okay, everyone. I do hope that you enjoyed this. Wait, I see one more question. Let me see if I can answer it. Thank you for the time. I'll check out the replay and I'll read your books. You got to buy my book first, boo. But I'd appreciate that, you know, because I did. Let me tell y'all something real quick about that book I wrote. I think people get confused. Me and my partner wrote the book, Your Guide to Running in Ghana. What's in that book is information on how to get to Ghana legally, how to stay in Ghana legally without residency or without citizenship. Because you can do it 100% legal because I'm here and I'm doing it. It tells you about the utilities and the specific questions you should be asking when you're looking for property. And these are not questions you would ever ask if you were in the West, because you wouldn't have to. And God knows I wish I would have had this before I got into this place, because I probably wouldn't have gotten to the place I am in now and I would have known these things. That's how we put everything in the book. And so, you know, it's just a stream of income, but at the same time, it's dropping knowledge. And so that's why the book was created. And we really appreciate if you guys would get a copy from the BlackUnicorn.org website. Let me read the last questions and then I'm out. Technology growth is good in some areas, but simultaneously could be a detriment in certain areas such as artificial intelligence. Does Africa really need that? And what's your take? Okay, one, do you know what artificial intelligence is and how it's used? There's so many different definitions on what artificial intelligence is, right? So yes, Africa needs artificial intelligence. Simply put, I'm gonna put it at the most basic form. They need the ability to understand who their customers are. They need the ability to provide people with information quickly without a physical person being there, right? But provide that information in true language, whether that's the English language, Tree, or any of the other many languages that are widely spoken here in Ghana. So yes, artificial intelligence is needed not just in Africa, but everywhere. But it needs to be applied in a way that's beneficial in the African context, not a Western context. How people operate here, not just business, but how people live their lives here, interact with technology is very different. than how you interact or have interactions with technology in the West. And not saying that it's so different, like, you're not gonna see kids staring at their phone. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the interaction is very different on what people will and will not do online. And so that's important. Okay, thank you. Setting some Google alerts, thank you. Let's see, I truly think you have so much to offer and you're very capable. So please get out there and knock them doors. You are sure to succeed. All I know, guys, I just need y'all all to do a little prayer for me to the Most High. I don't care, what name you call him, to the Most High. Because I have something cooking and I want that thing to actually come to fruition. So I would really appreciate that because it would be an amazing opportunity. So, let's hope, and damn sure praying about it. Okay, I need to get off here, y'all. It's over an hour. Can't nobody be talking this long. It's crazy. What is your Ghana name now? I was born on a Sunday. So I always say it. Everybody always laugh the way I say it, but Akosia is my name. Lifestyle sharing, I will buy definitely. Thank you. You buy my book. I appreciate it. If you buy my book, guys, once you buy the book, you'll get an email from me with the link to download the book. It doesn't download immediately because you get a personal email from me, and then you get access to the download, which is within a couple hours when you buy the book, if not immediately. Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you learned a little something about doing tech in Ghana, our tech in West Africa, tech in Ghana. I hope you guys come here, get it popping, and I hope that eventually we can all come together as a community and create our own streaming platforms so that we can freely discuss and talk about Africa without being sanctioned or warned like YouTube did for me just because I talk about, people having a little bit of faith. It happened. Anyway, good night, everybody. Happy Sunday. Have a good one. I hope you enjoy the day and have a beautiful week. Thank you. Bye.